Kinetica is a real-time analytics database. Its vectorized library of functions provides one of the fastest compute engines in the world. It is particularly well suited for running complex queries on large amounts of streaming, IoT, and sensor data to power real-time dashboards and event monitoring systems. This video will introduce Workbench, which is the primary interface for querying and managing Kinetica. Kinetica offers a free cloud version that is really easy to set up. It is a great way to explore Workbench. Let's go through the sign up process to see how easy it is to complete. Click on the Try Free button on Kinetica's website. This will take you to the sign up screen. I'll use my personal Google account to sign up. Kinetica automatically creates a username for you. All you need to do is specify the password. Within a few seconds, we land inside the dashboard, from where we can manage databases and provision new ones. Let's log into Kinetica Cloud. The password is the same as the one we set up just now. And that's it. Within just a minute, we are inside Kinetica. Another way to access Kinetica for free is using our Developer Edition. Dev Edition can be installed locally on your computer. You can find the instructions for installing Dev Edition on Kinetica's website. Workbench provides an interface for managing data objects, interactive SQL workbooks, and files in Kinetica. Kinetica is a really powerful database that can solve a wide range of analytical problems. But the breadth of our capabilities might make it harder to know where to start. This is why we have made all of these example workbooks available within Workbench. These workbooks show you how to use Kinetica to solve real-world problems. They are a great way to introduce yourself to our features and experience our superior performance. Let's open up one of them to see how to execute queries in Kinetica. A workbook is a collection of worksheets. Each sheet serves as an interactive notebook that combines text, SQL, HTML, media, and visualization blocks. You can run SQL code using the play button next to each block. This workbook sets up an alerting system that monitors shifts in the area shown below. We can also use the Run All button at the top of the sheet to run all the code blocks in a worksheet. Let's use that to run the queries in the Data Setup sheet. These queries set up a connection to a Kafka topic that is streaming ship locations. The data is loaded into a table in Kinetica. The Map block is configured to display data from this table. It is set to auto-refresh every few seconds to show the newest version of the data. All map widgets on Workbench rely on server-side rendering via WMS. This allows Kinetica to render billions of points of data on a map and refresh it continuously with ease. Let's check this table out using the Data tab. All data objects are organized by schema. A schema provides a unique namespace for different types of database objects. If you create a table without an explicit schema, it'll end up in the default schema, which is either ki_home or the username for your cluster if you're on Kinetica Cloud. I'm using Kinetica's Developer Edition to record this, so the table ship_tracks that we created just now can be found inside the default schema for Dev Edition, which is ki_home. You can click on a database object to bring up the context menu associated with it. Let's use that to preview the records in the ship_tracks table. Apart from tables, Kinetica provides the following database objects: data sources, data sinks, streams, and graphs. The code that we ran just now created a data source called ship_stream_source that we can see listed here. Data sources are connections to external repositories of data. All you need are the connection parameters to identify and authenticate access. This data source was created using SQL, but we can also use the import wizard. Let's try that. Kinetica supports hundreds of different data sources. Apart from our native connectors to data sources that we are most tightly coupled with, like AWS S3 and Kafka, Kinetica supports connections via JDBC. You can either bring your own JDBC driver, or you can use a driver provided through our partner, CData, which is a data connectivity platform that provides connectors for hundreds of different applications and data repositories, like Postgres, Apache Avro, and Salesforce. Every data source listed here has a custom import wizard that is specific to it. I'm going to load some data from an S3 bucket on AWS. Let's click on the S3 icon to launch the import wizard for S3. The first step creates the data source. Let's fill in all the details required to connect to the S3 bucket. When I hit create, the data source appears on our data pane. Now that the data source is created, we can import data from a file in the S3 bucket. The browse button will bring up all the files in this bucket. Let's load the data on Seattle Road Network. The format is CSV. The rest of the default options are fine, so let's hit import and give it a few moments to load this file from S3 into Kinetica. We can see the table on the data tab now. This table contains geospatial data on the road network in Seattle. Let's use the WMS preview option to visually explore it. Notice how Kinetica automatically detected the relevant fields and pre-populated everything. The preview option is a great way to get a quick sense for spatial data in Kinetica without having to configure anything. Another way to import data is through Kinetica's file system, KIFS. KIFS offers a quick way to load local files like CSVs and jar files into Kinetica. Now that we have covered data import, let's take a quick look at the other types of data objects in Kinetica. Data sinks are similar to data sources, but instead of loading data from them, you can export data from Kinetica to a sink. Kinetica currently supports webhooks via HTTP and HTTPS, Kafka, and JDBC sinks. Once you set up a sink, you can stream data from Kinetica into it. A stream monitors tables and views in Kinetica and sends changes to a data sink or a destination URL. The last data object is graphs. Kinetica provides extensive graph capabilities that allow you to model tabular data as graph networks that users can issue queries, matching algorithms, and solvers against. Graphs pair really well with our specialized suite of in-database, spatial, and time series functions. And the Workbench makes it really easy to work with them. Once you've tried out a few of our example workbooks, go ahead and clone one of them using the button here. This creates an editable copy of this workbook in your workspace. Try adding some SQL code of your own into these web workbooks as a way to test out some of our features. The next step is to create a workbook of your own using the plus icon here. You can get started by using data from our example workbooks, or you could use one of our many data source connectors to import your own data and take your analysis to the next level. So that was a quick tour of Workbench and its features. You can find more information on how to use Kinetica on our documentation website. You can also reach us through our community Slack channel or through the chat feature, which is located inside Workbench. Thank you for watching.